So ArtMax starts with a table of contents that's blank and a data view on the right. And you add data using the Add Data button at the top, and it gives you a default styling. Now we've added two data sets here, a roads and a lakes layer, and you notice it tries to fit the data to the first layer. You might have to zoom to full extent to give you the total view. Now there's another view, a layout view, which shows the map as it will be printed or exported. We typically work in the data view to add and stylize our data, then go to the layout view to add other map elements. Now if I right click on a layer and then down left click on properties, it opens a set of tabs for the layer properties, and the most important one for now is the Symbology. Now I'm not going to go through all the various things you can do for Symbology. We'll cover that over the course of this course, but you can color the features by clicking on the patch, again left clicking on the patch, and then selecting various options. Now on the left there's a menu that shows different ways of coloring. The simplest one is color everything the same, but we can use categories or quantiles or other things to add specific values for different kinds. So I might have lake size and I want to color the big lakes different than the small lakes. So if you left click on a patch, left double click, it'll open this symbol selector, and you have control then over how things are colored and line widths and pattern and those sorts of things. So here I can change the fill color. Again, just a series of clicks on the various patches. Now you notice the edit symbol on this. You can actually go in, we'll show later how to edit the individual components. And so here I've set a categorical display where they have different categories depending upon a value, an item that contains lake size. Now I can go back and color everything the same color irrespective of size. So I have a lot of control over how things look. For line features, it's the same idea. I have a set of standard patterns that I can access just by clicking on them. There's quite a large number that's in the base set, and it's just a matter of selecting them and hitting OK, and you'll show it changes the symbology. And if there isn't one I like, I can go change individual properties, here the color and width, or I can edit the symbol and add other things. So this is a sub-menu within the menu for the symbol properties. I can change the line properties if it has arrows or not, or other things. So you can explore that if you wish. Again, most of this class will use just the standard symbols. Now, again, switching back and forth between the layout and the data view. In the layout view, I can insert other features. So, for example, I can insert a map title. This will open a tab in which I can type in the title, and we'll be expecting you to add a title, your name, a scale bar, a number of other things. Now, in each of these additional features we can add to the map, you can stylize them also, typically with a series of clicks. If you double click on the feature, you can open for, in this case, this font size or font type. And depending on what you're adding, you have a different set of options. So you can add additional text and drag it around and change its style independent of the first piece of text you added. And again, we'll be expecting you to identify and make, in a readable manner, a description of every map, a title, your name, and other things. So here the default font is way too small, so I resize the font. I can also change the color and other facts or characteristics of that feature. Again, we can add a legend, and in the legend we can say which of my layers will participate in the legend. I can give it a legend title. I can specify whether the legend has a border or not, do all sorts of other styling on that legend. And then once I'm done, I can reposition the legend again by left clicking and dragging, and then while it has those selection handles, grabbing those and expanding to automatically resize fonts and everything else. Same thing for a north arrow. There's a set of standard north arrows. You can also build your own. We won't get into that. So you can place a north arrow. Now again, they're often set too small to be readable, the fonts, and so we expect you to stylize to make a readable map here. Finally, there are a couple of other elements we'll expect you to add to all of them. So a scale bar at least has to go in, and the scale bar has a set of options for the number of graduations in the bar and where you place the label, You have to be careful to make your scale bar readable. The fonts tend to be too small, and they tend to put in more graduations than make sense for the size maps we're producing. So we'll expect you to stylize those in a way that makes them readable, as all your maps should be. So you'll mess with these, follow the lab instructions, and you should then be able to, at the end, at least get the basics of changing the styles of your map.